I haven't even touched upon how Roman Reigns is awesome. Right now, it's the best run of his career.
Oh, hands down. I've never really
Heel Reigns is like, oof. I didn't think it was going to be this good.
It's good.
But it's the best thing to turn a huge baby face. Like,
yeah,
if they can do this good for the next couple of months, like through WrestleMania, and let the crowd turn him babyface, because that's where they're at. They're at that point where the crowd could turn him babyface, and then it's over. Then it's just boom. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, I know it's friggin' phenomenal, and like there's a lot of good shit going on. Like the Fiend and Alexa.
That's really good. I don't like that it's on Raw, but that's been a really good slow burn storyline. Yeah. Bayley and Sasha Banks has been a phenomenal storyline, and shout out to Bayley because she's the number one in the PWI Women's 100. So she got it. She's top of the list.
That's crazy.
This is the first year where the top 5 is all WWE, if I remember correctly, because it was. It was Bayley, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Charlotte, and I want to say Sasha was 5th. But that's rare that in the PWIs that not one wrestler from another company managed to break top 5.
Yeah, especially with AWA and stuff. I mean, like...
Well, AEW doesn't do as much with their women. They've got a phenomenal roster. They don't do enough with them.
Actually, yeah, no, you're right. They don't. I find myself still watching like women wrestling on Impact more than AEW.
Yeah, Impact has been one of the best for years now. I mean, fuck, like they went all in with Tessa Blanchard, which they should have. I mean, it's a shame that her backstage attitude is so piss poor, but it was the right move to go all in on her because she's money. As much as I hate to say it, she's money. She's got a great look. She's great in the ring, great promo, great character. Like she knows the character. It's a shame that she's still immature enough that thinks that her name will get her out of jail.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, the WWE passed on her, and the WWE is they have a history of being able to look past shit if they know how much money they're going to make. So for them to say no to Tessa Blanchard, she like I heard it was like huge diva attitude backstage. Ugh. And she was dating Ricochet at the time, and she pulled some shit with him while she was there, and it was just like, nope, not at all. We don't need your shit, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a company that still has Velveteen Dream employed. Matt Riddle, who just got hit with a lawsuit.
Yep.
That woman is actually lawsuit for him, for WWE, and someone else. I can't remember who. It's ultimately a $40 million lawsuit, right?
Wow.
Still employed in the company.
Yep.
Right? Although, I don't care what Enzo Amore says. He was let go. I've watched interviews with him, and he talks like he made them so much money, and he was like their prime merch mover and stuff like that, and like he was over, and then he and Kaz were over. They were 100% over, and I was like, yeah, he's over. But you couldn't have been doing as much business as you say you are if Vince was able to go, yeah, you're fired. Yep. And not even have him hired back. But anyway, so yeah, Reigns is awesome. The storyline right now is the Tribal Chief, and this feud with Jey Uso is awesome. It's so good. It's a shame that this isn't the springboard into upper mid-card or main event for Uso. It's literally just something to do while his brother heals up. So he's going to go right back to the tag scene after this.
Great, though. Yep. I mean, it's great. Like, he's doing phenomenal.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
you're so emotionally connected to the scenes that those two are playing.
It's so good. My favorite part is that like you've got heel Reigns pummeling his cousin, and he's like, I didn't want to do this. You made me do this. I'm like, that's so good. Like, it's such a great heel where he's like, I'm not the bad guy here. Yeah, I beat the fucking hell out of you, but all you had to do was say I'm the tribal chief. You didn't, so I had to keep hitting you, you know? So I'm like, this is it's not just he turned heel, it's a great heel character, and he's playing it so perfectly. But on top of that, you've got, Seth Rollins is now on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
You got Daniel Bryan, who's still on SmackDown. You've got an entire roster of guys that can really work with Roman Reigns and just make great matches and have awesome feuds.
Yep. So many. And yet they're probably just going to bring Goldberg back again.
Oh, my God. You know what? The funny part is that when that happened at WrestleMania last year, that was the feud going into it was Reigns and Goldberg.
Yeah.
I said that that was the money match. That was more of a money match than Reigns and the Fiend. Even though that should have been the match,
mm-hmm.
I acknowledge that Goldberg and Reigns was the money match. If they do that now, unfortunately, first of all, it's not the money match anymore.
No.
Goldberg is not at the stage. He's not at the Brock Lesnar stage anymore. He's had too many shitty matches where it shows how old he is and shows that he can't really hang. Whereas it's also kind of like with Taker, where the shit matches are happening more and more and more that you're like, just stop doing them. Just stop.
I know.
Cinematic matches for Taker all day long.
Yeah.
That's
all day long.
If that's the next like 2 or 3 feuds, possibly just 2, but maybe just 1 cinematic match, and that's it. That's all you got to do, because that match with AJ Styles was awesome.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was one of the best Taker matches I've seen in a long time. And on top of that, it was the best cinematic match I've ever seen. It was so good.
Yeah. Honestly, I hope that's it. I hope Taker's done now, because that was a perfect match to go out.
I agree.
Riding off into the dark and on his motorcycle, like, awesome.
Yep, I agree. I feel like it's the best way to go. But Goldberg and Reigns now, not the money match.
No.
At all.
No. The money match, if it were to happen, would be him doing the tribal chief thing, beating up the Usos and everything, and The Rock comes in.
That's the money match.
Him and The Rock. And then him beating
the only reason why that's not really happening is Hollywood insurance.
Yeah.
Because the last time he did that match with John Cena and he fucked his pec up and pushed back the filming of Hercules. That's the only reason why we're not seeing that match. And that's the money match.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one.
That's the big one. I mean,
I also, like, if they do Goldberg now, well, in order for this feud to, if they're going to do a feud, Goldberg has to win.
Yeah.
Reigns is at that point now where if he loses to Goldberg now, the crowd is immediately going to be like, fuck it. We don't care now.
Which is almost what happened to The Fiend.
Yeah. They're very lucky because that whole Seth Rollins feud and even the Goldberg aspects too, really, like, they're lucky that we're still invested in the feud storyline with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I honestly, I would love to be the guy that says to Vince, no Goldberg.
Yeah.
Goldberg's not bringing in the buy rates like he used to. You know, it's not like, look at Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's advertised before COVID, people showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Now that COVID's hit, where's Brock Lesnar? He ain't showing up.
No, that would be more of a money match if Lesnar returned and then Heyman was in between the two of them.
Yeah, which is funny because that was like the main event for 2 years in a row was Lesnar and Reigns. Yeah. But even now, like now, if they said, well, it's going to be Lesnar and Reigns, but it's the tribal chief Reigns, I'd be like, yep. That's like Reigns and The Rock is the money match.
Yeah.
Reigns and Lesnar would be like the fall, like the backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
And if that didn't pan out, well, then you could sub in Rollins. You could sub in Daniel Bryan. You could like Daniel Bryan, I think, would be an awesome baby face to play off this new Roman Reigns.
Yeah. There's going to have to be a few baby faces, but they're going to have to get squashed along the way. Like, he cannot lose for a while. Like,
no, but like, I mean, the best part is that they can have back and forth athletic matches. It doesn't have to be a squash match.
Yeah.
For it to still be believable. Like his match with Jey Uso was so good. I knew it was going to be good because, I mean, they're fucking family. They're energized. Like both want it to be really, really good. But I couldn't have told you that it was going to be that good. That's one of the best matches I've seen out of either of them in so long. Yeah. Like it's so good. I just, I can't say enough good things right now about Reigns, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns. Actually, I think I was reading a Triple H interview there, and he was talking about them working towards the eventual Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, and saying that it would be probably as big as Hogan and Rock and all that when it does happen.
You know what? It could be. The only problem is that what they're doing with Drew McIntyre right now is every promo he has, he talks about how he was fired from the WWE. He's still doing that same thing that he was doing before he won the title, and beat Lesnar for the title, which was awesome. Yeah. But he's still coming out and saying like, I was fired and I just wasn't good enough. And then I trained and I got better and here I am and now I'm the champion. It's like, you can say other things. Like have him say other things. His babyface run on NXT was awesome. Like it was that ass-kicking babyface, But that would be a great fucking match too, though. The match alone would be fucking amazing. The build would be really interesting to see. That'd be really interesting to see.
I don't know. I mean, like, even if they both still hold the titles at WrestleMania or something, like Raw versus SmackDown championships.
I don't want that, though. That's the only thing. I don't want them both to have belts. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I mean, Becky Lynch did it, and it was awesome. So why not? Why not have one of them have both belts for a little bit? Be on both shows. I mean, fuck. That would be really cool, actually.
That would be a hell of a match.
It would be a hell of a feud too, as long as it was literally a feud where the guys contributing were Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Just those three, and maybe like not Dean Malenko because he doesn't work there anymore, but like Jamie Noble or like one of those wrestler turned bookers.
Yeah.
Or agents, sorry, they're called agents now. But anyone, like I would say Jamie Noble for sure, because he's been around. He's old school, but he's also new school, so he can actually, and between the four of them, that feud in the matches would be just crazy.
Yeah, I think if you can't bring back one of the retired guys to make a money match, then that's your money match.
But I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is that, like, out of the guys that can make a money match, Brock Lesnar is the only one that I can honestly say, 100% money match.
Yeah.
The Rock is the only other one. Those are the two. Goldberg is not the money match anymore.
No, he'd be like, I don't know.
I don't even want to see him as like a non-champion attraction match because I don't feel that he's the attraction as he when he first came back into his feud with Brock Lesnar
and beat him in
it was awesome
10 seconds or whatever it was. Yeah,
it was absolutely awesome. He beat like Kevin Owens and then he beat Brock Lesnar. Like he just smoked him. He like old school Goldberg them.
Yeah,
but then it was the match with Taker in Saudi Arabia, and that's where it started to dip for him.
Yeah.
Because then he was wrestling longer matches. I mean, granted, he was concussed, so the match was going to be
bad, and
it was going to be terrible. All it was, but it's hard to say that the match was going to be much better if he wasn't, though. Because Goldberg's never been a guy that can do well in 10, 15-minute matches. His best matches, 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. Nothing wrong with that, because that's all he was good for anyway. And there's nothing wrong with that, because he made a life, like he made an entire livelihood out of that. Okay. Taker, again, is at an age where it's harder and harder for him to carry the match, but he shouldn't be doing matches longer than 3 to 5 minutes anyway.
Yeah.
Like his squash of John Cena at WrestleMania was 4 minutes maybe, and it was awesome. It was it was great.
Yeah.
Right. So you get two guys that can really only do their best work in the first 3 to 5 minutes. And again, nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm already at an age where I'm not moving as quickly as I'd like to. So what happens? I get it. But then you get them to do a 20-minute match? No. Fuck that.
There's not many guys that can go 20. No, definitely not many guys that can go over 40.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, so those are the part of the reasons why Goldberg's not as big a name is, and not only that, it's a short-term spike.
Yeah.
You bring him in for a Raw, ratings will spike, but then you bring him in for the next Raw, they're gonna start to dip a little bit. Then if he's working a program, then it's just right back to business.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to do a spear versus spear match, it should be Reigns and Edge whenever he can come back, if he can.
Well, no, because he's locked up with Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's...
The heavy rumor is that Randy Orton's going to take the title off of Drew McIntyre and then lose it to Edge at WrestleMania if Edge is cleared to wrestle. If he isn't, then I think the plan is to lose it back to Drew McIntyre.
Well, there you go. If he takes it off, Drew.
When the crowd's back, though, so that Drew gets that huge crowd roar when he wins the title.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely missing, him not getting that when he won.
Yeah, but he handled that so well.
Oh, he really did. He
really, really did. Like now with the Thunderdome and the piped-in crowd noises that they do now. I mean, I agree he should have had the moment. But you can't recreate that, though.
No.
And especially the way they're booking him right now, it's like they got to book him a little bit closer to how they're booking Reigns. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Just book him as a badass babyface instead of a badass heel.
Yep. Exactly.
That's pretty much it. That's there now. That's the wrestling rant.
There it is.
Now you can rest easy.